Okay. So, John, I didn't know if you were able to get any of the board meetings you didn't send them out, so I'm assuming they're not done yet.
Yeah, I
And I didn't
sent out May and July.
You did?
Yep, sent them to everybody. Long time ago.
Oh,
And I posted them to the website.
I missed that.
Yeah, June is the one because I was needed your help on. I only found half my notes since I was on vacation and doing them on the back of Sue's work product, and she collected them and lost them for me. So I found page one, but I need your help on the last half of the meeting. So that's what pending is
I
June.
and I went to look for my Summit Waller folder to help you, like I said I would, and I had temporarily misplaced it in a bunch of teaching stuff I had packed away, and I just found it last night. So I
Okay,
apologize. Okay,
no big
so
hurry.
all right, so the ones that you sent were I have April on here, but I don't have May.
He sent April and July.
April and
So
July.
April and July.
Mhm.
I didn't
Okay.
send May out.
No, May was the annual meeting.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's right. There is no May.
Okay. So then, do I have a motion to approve the April minutes?
So moved.
Okay, Larry, is there any discussion?
Gabe is seconding.
Seconding.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Oh,
the brief.
I'm sorry. Glasses are on and off, and I need that help. Thank you. Okay, all in favor of approving the April minutes?
Aye.
I'll
Hi.
abstain since I didn't read them. All right. Motion passes. And do I have a motion to approve the July minutes?
So moved.
Who was that?
Second.
Okay,
That
so
was
was that
Larry.
It's Larry again.
Larry and Megan? All right. And any discussion about them? Okay. Motion. Do we vote to approve the July minutes? Okay. Motion passes. We will work on June. I'll circle it. We'll get that done the next meeting.
We got the tip of John's head in the camera.
No, can't see it.
Oh, that's because I'm writing. So I'm on a tablet, so I got to sit down.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, we have all the treasurer's reports from Russell. Did people have a chance to look over those?
We got those?
We did. He sent them all, May, June, and July.
When did he send
Did
those out?
he just send them to me and not to all of you?
I don't remember getting them.
Let me go check my email and see if he just sent them to me. And if he did, I apologize for not forwarding them. Just give me a moment. Summit Waller. Russell's treasure reports. Yep, just to me. So sorry. Forwarding to you right now. Okay, I just sent them.
Larry has his hand up. I don't know if he's asking a question or if he was agreeing with something.
Okay, Larry.
No, I do not have my hand up. Oh, I guess I do. Let me get rid of that.
I spend all day in these meetings.
She knows what to look. She knows what to look for.
Well, when someone moves significantly on the screen, it's always because they have their hand up. So
Okay. So should I just wait for the next meeting then to approve those since you won't have a chance to look at them?
Yes.
That'd be fine.
All right. So I'll just table that. I apologize. Gabe, website?
Yeah, okay. So starting with Facebook, not a whole lot of growth, but over the last month, we've had about 20 increase on the Facebook page. And then for our website, Oops, where did that page go? We've had just a pretty static information on the page, so it hasn't grown a whole lot. And we've had it's pretty average. I mean, that's all I can say. People seem to have spent a little bit longer by 39 seconds compared to last month. So there's not really a whole lot to report on there though. But it's still up and people are still going to it.
Okay.
There seems to be a over the last several months an increase in people that join the group that answer the screening questions with a legitimate address and then spam the group with car cleaning advertisements and air duct cleaning advertisements and that kind of crap. And I just deleted a couple more today and banned them from the group. And I'm getting more and more suspicious. Like if I don't see that you have a friend in common or another group in common, I'm kind of hesitant to let people join. And sure enough, a week later or an hour later, they're posting something that gets deleted or gets reported. So I appreciate, Gabe. I think you set up a rule that if it is a car detailing or air duct cleaning,
I think that's automatic. I didn't set that up. It's doing it. Yeah, I guess that's enough. Other groups are complaining that Facebook set up a filter.
They just get filtered out and reported. Well, then I see that and I'm like, I'm banning that person. They're done.
Yeah,
Off they go.
actually just went ahead and started looking at their actual their public profile. If they have two pictures and everything else is closed off, I'm sorry, you're gone. If you can't even tell me that you live locally, it's gone. We don't need it.
And even if they put a legitimate address, sometimes it looks like they just copied and pasted off of Google search, and just put a full address on there. So I go and look at the address. And I'm like, oh, that address was the same address as somebody else used a week ago. I
have my suspicions that it's somebody local that's trying to scam people. That's my theory. Oh, Don has a question, I guess.
Don.
Yeah. Well, why is it not part of the rules that if you're going to advertise a business to make it mandatory, excuse me, publish your specific business name and business license number in your request?
I don't know if we want to lock it down that much. There are some people that just kind of do whatever, just labor without any sort of business license required type of thing. They should be reporting it to taxes, but it's not required to have a business license.
Babysitting, lawn mowing, that sort of thing. You don't want, I don't know, like I would hate to not have that kind of activity in the community because people feel like they can't, they have to have a business license.
Yeah, that's fair. The other question I have is that, several people have posed questions to the group, and the answers have come back blatantly opposite of what the law says. And I follow that stuff pretty closely, and there's a lot of misleading information being spread. So how far do we go to, is it our responsibility to call them on that, or is it buyer beware?
So what you're saying, can I just level set a little bit? So what you're saying is if somebody puts a post out and then another member of the community answers in a way is not correct.
Yes.
And so you're saying, is it our job then to police that?
Basically, how do we prevent that erroneous information to getting out? Because people will believe anything if somebody tells them.
Well, it's a full-time job to moderate comments in a Facebook group. So I don't know that is something that any of us would be willing to take on the task of. So
okay, I'm just asking.
Dan's raising his hand to be volunteering.
Dawn, if you see something that isn't accurate, I mean, you as another community member can easily correct that person or send them to the right place.
Post a link. Here it goes.
I try to do that if I see it. If I happen to be in the thread, I'll do that, but I don't read every single comment either.
You may have picked up on it, but I posted the applicable code right behind the comment of Pierce County code, but that didn't seem to do any good. So anyway,
It's like a
we'll
town
let it
square.
go. I
People
don't
just
care.
kind of talk is what, that's kind of what we're trying to maintain as a town square. People can come to, but within reason, without being overboard or blatant, misinformation and lies. A lot of people are just misinformed. Dan?
Yeah.
It is a town square, okay? And I think that Angela and you, Gabe, are doing the
And
most
Megan?
possibly do.
I'm not really doing much. Thanks, Gabe. Though.
Thank you for your work, but I think it's you've done all you can do, and again, thank you.
Online
Okay.
moderation is a thankless job.
It is.
Ugh,
No,
I know.
no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Well, not
It
now.
really
I
is.
mean, Dan thanked us, which is great, but most people just don't like it's you're violating my First Amendment rights, and it's like
You're
okay.
You're censoring us. Like, well, I am going to censor you if you are going to be a complete
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you're
a-hole
breaking
and-
community guidelines,
and you're breaking
community guidelines,
if you're breaking the
bye-bye.
breaking
Yeah.
the rules, I'm sorry, those get cut off.
You agreed to it. You don't abide by it. Goodbye. That's it.
I try to be reasonable, but it's
The
hard
nice thing about
sometimes.
having a closed group like that is that if we don't, we can choose.
What's next?
What's next is do we have we made any headway on a t-shirt or signs or information about it or
I'm happy to report that the t-shirts are in my hot little hands. I have a box of 30 t-shirts in all sizes. All
goodness.
sizes ranging from small to double extra large, and I will hand them out to you at our next in-person meeting.
Yay!
Wow.
Yeah, finally got it done.
Nice. I wasn't expecting that answer. That's wonderful.
I got it done I think it was back in July, so I've been sitting in my spare bedroom for a while.
Any
Oh,
chance
I
we
can't
can
wait to
get
see
them
'em.
for the Adopt a Road?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I'll hand them out. Oh, yeah, I can do that too.
Yeah, I like to wash it before I wear it, to be honest with you, but yeah.
I'll
You like to wash it before you work in it.
Well, it's the stuff they put on it to keep it soft. It irritates my skin pretty bad. I break
get
out.
it.
Yeah.
let me. Okay, so I'll have to remember what your sizes were.
Medium fatty.
Well, how do you want me to get those to you? Do you guys want to come pick them up? You want to do a porch pickup? Do you want me to deliver them?
I can come pick mine up. Yeah.
Okay. Are you large, Gabe?
XL.
XL. Okay.
I can just grab mine at the adopter. I'm good with that.
Sorry, my dogs are barking. Megan, what did you just say?
I just said I can grab mine at the adopter road. I'm good with that.
Okay. Okay. And Jen, you were medium. John, you were John, I think you're an extra large.
I don't know what I put
2X.
down, Angela. Yeah. I don't know what I put down, Angela, but I'm probably more of a large these days. So
Okay.
my apologies if that screws anything up.
I ordered lots of extras, so
That's good because my size is rapidly changing.
Larry, you're a large, right? Medium, large.
Large,
Okay.
although I'm shrinking all the time.
And Dan,
I'm gonna abstain.
do you want one?
Respectfully, no.
I know,
Come
Dawn,
on,
you
Dan.
said you said you didn't want one either, right, Dawn?
When I was in the first grade at Waller Road School, Miss Caldwell tried to get me to wear something, and it I just can't do it.
We should get Hawaiian shirts then.
Apparently.
Yeah, my wife, she's better. than Miss
Okay.
Caldwell.
Gabe, Jen,
So can you put,
Megan, John.
hey,
Larry.
Dan, can you have your Hawaiian shirt there all doctored up with Summit Waller Community Association volunteer on the back and call it good?
I got a shirt in Puerto Rico I might do that with.
I think that's a
All right,
good
that'll work.
compromise.
I just,
Well, if you'd like to, either I can leave it out on my porch, you can come pick it up anytime, or I will be at the Adopt a Road, you can pick it up then. Or if you'd like to wait till October, I don't care. And then Dawn, you said you didn't want one, is that correct? Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You bet.
I think my daughter will take one. She likes to wear those. She's got one left over from the Waller Road Concerned Citizens Association back in the meeting.
Wow.
She's got one from the Rails to Trails Coalition that her grandmother left her.
Wow.
I think she'll take a medium.
You can have mine then.
He can have mine.
Okay.
And she's
Okay.
got a PLU one now too. So
Because she's attending there?
she's a nursing student.
Nice. Gonna take after mama, huh?
Hopefully not daddy. We'll see.
All right, let's move on to Orange Gate Park Pipeline Trail updates. You did get the groundbreaking. I think Gabe was the only person who said he could attend, but Larry and I unfortunately cannot. So I'm glad at least one of us can, and hopefully, if there's anybody else, that'd be wonderful. And then I think Larry wanted to speak about Orange Gate and Pipeline tonight.
Yeah, I'll be on vacation from the 12th to the 26th down in Florida. So when I got the news that there's a groundbreaking for the pipeline trail, I went, oh, darn.
Yeah.
Gabe, thank you very much for being willing to represent the Summer Waller Community Association at the groundbreaking. Maybe there's another one or two of you that could be there as well. I don't know. But Orange Gate's been a challenge, both litter-wise and otherwise. There have been surveyors going through the park. Unfortunately, they have created new trails that go deep into the park where nobody else has been to drive their stakes in. And of course, the people looking for extracurricular activities have followed those trails. So I have been going down some trails I've never been on before to find stuff. Illegal activity of a sexual nature is still going on in the park despite recent activities that the Parks Department has tried to do to close off some trails. Haven't really done a great job. I don't know whether they're going to do more. I hope so. Community members had a cleanup a couple of Saturdays ago, or maybe it was a Sunday. They spent a couple hours picking up things, but a lot of people who have been in contact with the Parks Department, especially neighborhood watch people, they're kind of throwing up their hands because they feel the Parks Department's not doing enough. For residents who live around Orange Gate Park, I don't think the Parks Department's looking like they're in a very good light. I keep trying to remind them that we must keep a positive working relationship with park employees. And I think I've convinced a couple of people who regularly contact the Parks Department to operate in that regard. Because of my recent heart conditions, I can only spend about an hour and a half at a time puttering around in Orange Gate Park. You know, I like being out in the park. I enjoy walking through the park. I've cleaned up virtually everything north of 84th, but some of that illegal activity of a sexual nature has spilled over into the south of 84th, which is troublesome. The sex site is still up. I just checked it about half an hour ago. The only thing I can conclude is we know that there's a detective working it. And you know, maybe they're gonna do a sting operation. I don't know, but as the Parks Department is more active in the park, I guess pretty soon they're going to start doing some logging. And I think that activity is going to hopefully chase some of these people away. And then, of course, in the spring of next year, there's going to be a lot of activity in the North 40, especially in the southwest corner. You can go to the Parks Department website, Google Pipeline Trail and Orange Gate Park, and get all the recent updates. I think I've forwarded just about everything to all of you that I have gotten. So the struggle continues. I mean, right now, today, most everything I picked up a few days ago is kind of littered again. It's like I equate it to a custodian at a school having to pick up every day everything on the floor, after lunch. It's just going to be there. And so, I don't know, the beat goes on with Orange Gate. I do not report any of my hours that I put into the Parks Department. So I guess technically we're kind of not even associated with Orange Gate Park anymore as a community group. Although the people I talk to know that I'm with the Summit Waller Community Association. So it's just by word of mouth now.
Well, thank you for your
I
work.
think that's it.
Yes, thank you for everything you do all the time.
So
Well-
Larry, thank you for that. You had mentioned back on our last in-person meeting how people were finding out that this is a location to go do these type of things. I am trying to find if there's a way that I can at least redirect them from using our Orange Gate Park write-up on our website to where if I'm hoping to find a way that if it comes from certain websites that it redirects them to somewhere saying not found, because I don't want our website being associated with this type of behavior, public indecency in park.
I hope
I haven't found it yet though.
keep looking.
One of the other nuisance things that bug me, and it kind of frightens me just a little bit because it's been so hot and dry. I walk a lot of trails and I'm always finding cigarette butts on the trail, which concerns me greatly. To the point where my wife and I have kind of a bag packed in case we have to evacuate because it's pretty dry there. If we got a fire going in Orange Gate Park in the North 40, wow, it could be very bad. And over on 84th, it takes me about a half an hour just to go about 100 feet picking up cigarette butts, which I've never had to do before. So there's a lot of people smoking and leaving their cigarette butts behind. I don't know how many of them get flicked into the dry underbrush off to the side of the road, but that's another concern of mine, to the point where I will be contacting the Parks Department, see if we can't get some no smoking signs put up. Maybe some people will adhere to that.
Well, Larry, you shouldn't have planted all those fir trees along the north side 40 years ago. You created the fire hazard, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
You're welcome. No, it's really funny. On the North 40, back in the mid 80s, there were no trees there. And Larry and Dennis Young and a few others went out there and they planted those trees. Those trees now are like 50 feet tall. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. The DNR gave us a whole bunch of trees to plant.
Yes, they did.
So
What's that saying? No good deed.
Yeah.
No good deed goes unpunished. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what
I
it
think
is.
That's the one.
I think the word is there are positive and negative things about all actions.
Yes.
Well, better trees than blackberry bushes, because as my friend Sheila says, nature abhors a vacuum. Something would have filled it. Okay. Thank you, Larry, for everything. Let's move on. Angela.
Don has something.
Oh, Don has
a
something.
question.
Oh,
Oh,
I was just gonna tell Gabe, I'm seriously considering attending that meeting with you then.
Okay, good. I'll hope to see you there.
Yeah, okay.
all right. Angela, did you have anything? I saw the I jumping ahead to Parkland Incorporation. I caught the letter that or the article that the TNT had done. I don't know if anyone else saw that, talking about the incorporation study.
Comprehensive plan, I don't have any updates on. So item 4B on the agenda. I know that the county is still working through critical areas ordinance updates, climate risk and vulnerability assessment. And I don't know when at the end of this year is when the draft comprehensive plan will get released for public comment period. They will likely have an online open house, some in-person open houses during that comment period. So I'll let you know when that is coming up. But I think it's supposed to be like between Thanksgiving and Christmas is when they're going to try to squeeze it in.
For the comprehensive plan or for the,
For the comprehensive plan update.
okay. From what you see, is there anything that affects us out here?
I don't think so. In fact, they have a couple of, they've been looking at actually taking some parcels out of the UGA, the urban growth area, to kind of help balance some development and growth concerns. But I haven't really been hearing much about anything that has to do with rural separator, or they're not making critical areas ordinances any more lax. So that's good. In fact, they're probably getting more stringent based on changing conditions, and as more development occurs and more regulations come down from federal and state regulations. Yeah. So no, Dan, not really.
Question for you, Angela. You're saying that the county is considering removing some UGA and turning it into rural. Is that in the rural separate or just different areas in Pierce County?
Different areas in Pierce County.
Okay, well, I think that goes to the point that currently, correct me if I'm wrong, Pierce County, under the ratio prescribed by the state, has an overabundance currently of urban areas. Would you agree? Would you agree with that?
I won't agree or disagree. I don't know.
Well, okay, well, otherwise they would want to take urban and convert it back to rural. I've been told by various sources that you really can't take right now rural areas and convert them to urban because there's already too much urban in Pierce County. So that's my point.
Yeah. So more to come as I hear more, but I don't have any substantive updates. The incorporation study, I think it sounds like it was presented to the state legislature back in June, but I don't know to who, to what committee, what was decided, what was presented. I don't know, other than you can find the final report online now, which is nice, but I'll be very interested to see what happens.
Another book on the shelf, Gathering Dust.
Well, until somebody decides that they're going to dust that thing off and
right.
file for incorporation of the said city of whatever.
And quietly at that.
Yeah,
I think it'll happen eventually.
The article in the TNT focused on a couple of cities who had gone through that process: Edgewood, Lakewood, and University Place. And they put a very positive, they talked about the positive experience of the process, that it was a long process, but there were a lot of positive outcomes. And it made it sound like it was a desirable thing for Parkland and Spanaway to pursue. They only mentioned Summit Waller once, and that person wasn't in favor. And that was pretty much a summary there.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Rural areas like Summit Waller are not included in that study anyway. Is that right?
That's correct.
That's supposed to be correct.
We're still in the verbiage of some of the early documents, and so we keep getting mentioned in there, even though we're not part of that.
Okay.
Other than the fact, if the areas around the rural separator get encroached upon by development, it's gonna be much harder to fight off development here down the road.
Yeah, they keep mentioning
Yeah.
Summit Waller, but it's not within it's mostly Midland, Parkland, Brookdale, Spanaway, Frederickson. It's mostly that area.
And that might be a good idea for them to incorporate, but that'll be their decision.
One thing, we had a study put out, and right now Pierce County has a certain critical mass of tax base where the county can provide excellent fire, police, road, and various surface water, provisions. You look at the city of Tacoma or some of these smaller municipalities, they don't have the tax base. If you break this Pierce County, this critical mass of Pierce County up into various jurisdictions, you're going to see your roads deteriorate. You're going to see police, fire degrade. Right now, a lot of your municipalities are hiring Pierce County for fire and so forth. So I think if you start breaking up that large area of Pierce County into various cities, it's going to increase, number one, the overhead for the taxpayers, more bureaucracy. It's gonna segment and divide and reduce the tax base. And I think you'll see it in roads, fire, and police protection. That's my opinion, based upon a report that was done by Tom Ballard.
Sure. And but if Melanie, last name's leaving my brain for a moment, Morgan, alliteration, Melanie Morgan, is leading the charge on that because that's her area and her representation. And if she rallies people to that, then there will be a change, whether we like it or have a good argument against it or not.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Moving to, is there anything on D&E? I haven't heard anything.
Pierce County Critical Ordnance Areas Ordinance. That's a part of the comprehensive plan updates. And then Canyon Road Northerly Extension. I don't have any updates either. Status quo for now. They're updating their flood study for the next many months.
Okay. And I haven't heard anything about Swan Creek Park and the BMX, not for a while. Dan, did you have anything to update with that?
I am going to, we wrote a letter from the Summit Waller Community Association, okay?
Yeah.
What I am going to do, independent of the Summit Waller Community Association, on my own letterhead, is I'm going to write a letter that's going to be multiple pages long that goes through the history of it and talks about the 18 civic organizations that I've worked with over the years to turn that from a gravel pit into what it is now, and all the reasons why it should remain the way it is now and not converted into some kind of a BMX race park. So I'll be putting that out. We'll be speaking on behalf of myself and providing a background on what the community had done over the years and try to educate Pierce County Parks and let them know that they should not be doing it. It'll be a regular piece of work. I'll get that out to you when I get it out to you. My understanding, and tell me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows differently, the county is not putting this on their agenda for consideration this year. Apparently it's going to be next year. Does anybody know differently? Because I was told by the county park that it's not on for this year's consideration. Of course, we're already in September, so I should get that letter out. But,
okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, Adopt a Road.
No changes. Everything's on its track, I guess.
Okay, is it September? What date is it?
23rd.
I think
it's 23rd.
23rd, because I have the wrong date on here and I knew it as soon as I saw it just now, not when I sent it to you, or I would fix that.
I didn't notice it either until just a second ago.
Okay,
It's the
23rd.
23rd, not the 16th. I have it on my calendar as the 16th.
I have it on my calendar as the 16th too, but then I noticed here it was the 23rd. I might have messed up something on my volunteers.
Well,
But John,
up
you're the
until
one
now,
with the
I had it
final
on the
C.
website like that too. So the 16th. So if 23rd is what we have it for.
Wait,
John?
it was on the website as the 16th? Is that what you
Well,
said?
I have a Google Calendar that plugs into our website. It still showed the 16th from the original time we said way back. But I think we changed it 23rd at a prior meeting based on availability.
Hmm.
So John is for sure confirmed 23rd, right?
Yeah, it's too soon. Yeah, well,
That
I
gives us more
mean, we
time
could
to drum
change
up
it.
some more people. I have no problem with 23rd either, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, the 23rd works best, I think.
Okay, I just adjusted
Okay.
that on the website now, so we're good.
Thank you.
And I'm making
All right.
we can unleash the Megan on it again.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, we need to make an event.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, I can do that right now.
No chat, please.
No, no more chats.
Okay. I have not heard from PC Campbell. I have not heard from Marty this month. So I haven't heard about any updates on anything and nothing on Lidford lighting unless you've actually have they done it. That would be an update if you have noticed.
No, there's
Done?
nothing. No.
Okay.
And the last time I talked to him about it, I still haven't gotten any good answers as to other than the fact that there's no room on the pole. Like that's what we keep getting told. Like there's no room on the pole. And so they're trying to come up with a creative response to that. Like, and we haven't gotten there yet, obviously.
That's been a story that's been going for a long time. The no room on the pole.
Yeah, Jen, just a comment on that. Our streetlight requests for the last 2 or 3 years,
Mhm.
I don't think even one of those streetlights have been put up.
No. And they've told us that it's been approved and it's going to happen and we're still waiting.
So far, nothing.
Slow as molasses. Slower
Which
than
I-
molasses.
Which I think, I'm just going to speculate here, but it's just my opinion. I think even though they were improved, they had some other things come up where streetlights were needed more at other locations than in our location.
Hmm.
And so I think our streetlights got put up somewhere else. Because there's only so much money.
Right. Well, we can just keep the pressure on till it happens. I don't know what more we can do. Comes up in our meeting, we revisit it, we ask or get
I have the neighborhood
confirmations.
watch going after him with emails too. So
Okay.
as much as we can.
Well, and wasn't the bottom line that there's kids out waiting for the bus in the dark hours of the morning? Yes, in the dark. It's a safety issue for our children.
It is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay, we need to hit that harder again. Because it's like Larry said, it's been years and we've had verbal lomises and it's kids' safety and maybe we need to get the Puyallup School District helping out on this. I don't know. To give a little push from the district.
That couldn't hurt.
Couldn't hurt. Okay, as far as traffic in this area, Waller Road, Vickery Corridor, safety issues, I haven't heard from our councilman. I've heard nothing. And that moves us to Canyon Rim. Is there anything new with that, Dan?
Status quo. As you know, we prevailed before the Superior Court, went on remand to the hearing examiner. Hearing examiner sat on it for over a year, then just summarily issued a decision. We appealed that to Thurston County. Thurston County is, they haven't put it on the docket yet. So
So still not on docket.
well, it's not scheduled for trial. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Still not scheduled for trial. Megan, you said you were encouraging more adopter roads. How's that going?
Yeah, I think the Lidford Neighborhood Watch ladies are gonna do 44th, and then Waller the Grange. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
I know they want to do 64th, and I talked to Marty we had a barbecue this summer, and I don't think I've talked to you guys since then. He actually is talking about wanting to do sidewalking along 64th to connect the city of Tacoma over all the way to Waller Road. And so we were having that discussion as well about putting sidewalking in, and what if the Grange could possibly help with the neighbors, getting people on board and that sort of thing. So long story short,
what?
No, just long story short, nothing is official yet, but both of those are in the works, and it is looking for people to spearhead that, because I cannot take on one other project. So
So the sidewalks would be from Waller along 64th into Tacoma to Portland Avenue. Is that what you're saying?
So there's already I guess they've already been approved to get sidewalks from Portland down to where the city ends. And he said, Marty was saying, wouldn't that be silly to have a sidewalk that ends right there? It should go all the way to Waller Road. And I'm like, I agree with you. I think that would be a great thing, for it to go all the way to Waller Road. But, you've got people's residence right there that it would have to go through. So that's the question. I don't know that the school would be adverse to it. But, anyway, that was the discussion.
Could I interject something?
Yeah.
First of all, the idea that the Waller Road Grange wants to do, a garbage cleanup on 64th Street, is that what you're talking? Okay.
That's where it started. Yes.
Yeah, highly supportive of that.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking for myself, any idea of running a sidewalk from the Pipeline Road area of 64th over to Waller Road, I would oppose that to the T. First of all, why?
Yeah, why?
Why?
Because it's into a rural area, number one, and sidewalks are not required in a rural area unless you're building a new state-funded highway, or like Canyon Road, for example. It's the 64th area is on a fill. It's barely wide enough to hold 64th Street. In order to put sidewalks on that, you have to put more fill into the canyon to widen it up. There's settling issues there. The thing that ground is always moving, and it's in a rural area. The 100% of the area on the north side of 64th Street from Pipeline Road is owned by either Metro Parks. It's all parks. The corner of 64th and Pipeline Road to the north, that's all Metro Parks. I wrote the grant for that back in the 80s. And there's no need for it. There's no need for it. If they want to put sidewalks from Portland Avenue to, let's say, to Pipeline, that's fine. But when you start running it, it's a waste of taxpayers' money. It's not efficient. It's not really even workable. If you start looking at that fill in there, it's barely wide enough to hold the road. You can't put sidewalks in that. I'm going to talk to Marty Campbell about that. And I'll tell you right now, I hate to be a troublemaker, but if they try to do that, I will appeal it. It won't happen.
Yeah.
Angela.
I'm first.
Yep, she's first.
So I think there's a couple things with that, Dan, that if I think Marty had mentioned putting in sidewalks all the way to Waller to help support safe routes to schools, and that does not exist for Waller Road Elementary right now. So that was one of the catalysts for proposing that.
Let me interject.
Hold on. Let me finish. The other thing too is that Surface Water Management or Public Planning and Public Works has a project on the books that replaces the culvert underneath 64th at the creek there. And so it's essentially going to be a bridge because of the span, because of the cost. And so if we're going to be putting in a bridge, you could easily put in sidewalks. And I'm not saying that that's like the best use of taxpayers' money and that's how you should spend it, but that would make the proposal more feasible rather than keeping the existing road prism the way it is. So
Talking about
Okay, I think, wait, Dan. I think Megan was 1st after Angela, and then Dawn also.
No, it's fine. I'll wait and I'll listen.
Okay, then Dan and Dawn, fight it out there.
This idea about providing sidewalks for the kids there. I went to Waller Road, okay? There are no children walking from Pipeline Road to Waller Road School that I am aware of. There's maybe 1, 2, 3 houses there. The other house is directly adjacent to Waller Road. So the idea of providing sidewalks for kids to come to Waller Road School, that's bogus. As far as taking that field out and putting a bridge in, yeah, I don't need the support of the Summit Waller Road group. I'll do it myself. I'm going to oppose it. I strenuously oppose that. It's 64th Street is not a thoroughfare. It's simply a connector street between a portion of our area and Portland Avenue. Sidewalks, bridges. It's somebody's thinking wrong. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, well, Dawn was next, but then I want to jump in with something. Okay, Dawn, go.
Okay. From an engineering standpoint, and that's my background, I agree with Dan 100%. It's throwing money down the creek that'll wash out to sea.
Okay. All right. So my 2 cents is I would love to see the road from 64th from Portland down fixed, sidewalked for those people in Tacoma. I mean, Marty lives right there, and I would have thought that he would have put his own road first on his agenda. I'm kind of impressed that he didn't, but it's a mess. It's a mess to drive down. It's a mess to walk down. It's just awful with all those potholes and those homeowners with no sidewalk, yada, yada. I think, Dan, though, I don't really have a full opinion. I'm listening to your engineering and wisdom on that. I don't have a full opinion, but you're right. There's not a bunch of kids going to school from those couple of houses from Waller Road. But what there is a relationship between Waller Road school children and the activities at the Grange. And they're trying to promote more and more of that, I believe. Megan can jump in and tell me if I'm right or wrong on that, but that was my impression. Mm-hmm. And so if they continue to bridge that relationship and children want to be over at the Grange to participate in activities, I could see that a better mode of safe travel would be advantageous. And that's my 2 cents.
2 points. Number one, I agree that the area on the city side of Portland Avenue is in horrible shape. That should be repaired and fixed. I heartily support that. The area of Pierce County from Waller Road over to the city limits, the road's really good until you get to the city side. That's number one. Number two, and this is going to make some people very upset with me tonight, but when the Waller Road Grange starts promoting sidewalks in this community, I think is when the Grange is probably going to become under disfavor in this community. Period.
Okay. Any more discussion before we move on? Larry.
Yeah, I have a couple things to say. The city of Tacoma is improving 64th Street East. They've already improved it from Pacific Avenue to the next major north-south street, which doesn't come to mind right.
McKinley, I think.
Yeah, McKinley. And then they are going to eventually do the same thing all the way to Swan Creek. Yeah, no, Pipeline is not the boundary line. It's farther east. I think it's right at the creek. Is the boundary line between unincorporated Pierce County and the city of Tacoma. Now, if they're going to put in a new bridge, they're going to have ways to walk on both sides. I have seen in unincorporated Pierce County areas, as far as schools are concerned, I've seen some asphalt, they're not permanent, but they're asphalt walkways leading to a school. That's a possibility between Swan Creek and Waller Road School to have, these kind of temporary asphalt walkways. So, that's but I do agree with Dan. There's no way that they're going to have concrete sidewalks from from Swan Creek to Waller Road School, because we're in a rural area, and like Dan said, you have to have a main arterial like Canyon Road, and when they improve a major arterial, they may put in sidewalks and street lighting at that time, but 64th is not like that.
Yeah, I would urge the Grange just to leave that issue alone.
So, Dan, here's the deal. What Marty told me was that there is going to be a sidewalk put in from Portland Avenue down to the city limits on 64th Street.
Yeah.
That's what he said. And so therefore, I'm sorry.
That's a given. I mean, I know
that's
right.
happening. Yes.
So that's happening. And so the question then is, does it make sense to extend it on down to Waller Road, knowing that there's going to be an end to a sidewalk like in the middle of 64th Street?
Let me respond. I think it's totally appropriate, and I traveled 64th since I've been a kid. I used to work at Pig to Whittle on Portland Avenue. I traveled every day. I've watched it degrade to where it is now. The road needs to be repaired. If you go west of Portland Avenue on 64th Street, they have improved that quite a bit. I think it should be improved with sidewalks from Portland Avenue to Pipeline Road. Let me finish. Once you get to Pipeline Road, there's nothing left to improve other than just the road. All the property to the north of Pipeline of 64th is owned by Metro Parks. There is only count of 2 houses on the south side of 64th Street in the area east of Pipeline Road. And I agree, and I think you'll have support, from Pipeline Road west. But once you start talking about Pipeline Road east, it's buffoonery. To put a bridge through there, that cost millions of dollars, and it's a waste of money. And I would personally lead an effort to oppose it.
It's possible, Dan, that Pierce County is legally forced to replace that culvert for salmon spawning, or going underneath 60.
There's no problem with. I've been through that culvert. I can't disagree that the county's probably going to try to replace it, but I really would suspect they're not going to dig out the whole. Angela, tell me, are they going to dig out the whole field to replace a culvert?
I don't know.
Yeah, they would have to. They've been looking at different options. They've been looking at a feasibility, what would make sense, and they're finding out that they would literally have to dig out the entire ravine, the whole entire road prism, to put in a new bridge to make it work.
With that. They did a whole bunch of work up on I-90 doing a fish passage. They can jack that through that underground. Yeah. They don't need to dig it out.
I mean, yeah, it's another option. It's just about cost and what makes most sense. And
well, the cost is putting the bridge in, combined with anyway. I can see that. Okay, let's move on.
Okay, let's move on. Memorial signs. Dawn, did you have any?
Yeah, I've made multiple inquiries. The lady that's in charge of the outreach coordinator for Washington State Historical Society is by the name of Janae Chapman. And as many times as I've reached out to try to connect with her, I have failed to get a response. So right now I have nothing to report.
Okay.
What's your basic idea, Dawn?
Well, it had to do with an article published in the Spokane Review of the monuments similar to that you find on the as you call it, the Bird Mill Road you know, the
Okay.
concrete pedestal or pyramid arrangements, and it has to do with a lot of it is verbiage that is not, how would I say it, insulting to our native peoples of one of them was commemorated to Hangtown, so to speak, and the historical society is trying to decide that if this negative verbiage to our original habitat uh, people of this country uh, needs to be changed. And so my interest was, is there anything we can do? Because most of these monuments are on the west side of the Cascade, is to help identify any that are suspected, but we haven't, or they don't have a record of. So that's in a nutshell if I explained it to a degree.
Okay.
Do you have a specific memorial in mind at a certain location within the Summit Waller area?
No, I don't. That's what I'm asking her, if there's anything we can do to help explore this issue in our area or anywhere from Puyallup to Stellicum. I don't care. I'm just trying to get some communication with her to see what
Yeah.
their bigger plan is.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have nothing right now.
All right.
Well, that was something.
Well, yeah.
It was
Gives
something
us an
that you had nothing. No, it's coming. It's a process. All right, Larry, Franklin Pierce School District, the farm.
Oh, yeah, if you've driven past Waller Road in 96, you'll see that they're constructing
They
a
are.
building. It's going to be the new natural science STEM building. From what for the people I've talked to, it's about $8 million. It is something that the Summit Waller Community Association primarily promoted back when well, shortly after we promoted the growing of vegetables, fruits and vegetables for the school lunch program uh, on that parcel, on that acreage. And of course, Jim Akers was probably the most active person from our community association that helped them to develop that area into a food growing activity, and also to encourage the Franklin Pierce School District to embrace academic programs that would eventually be at that site, so that people who want to become farmers or are interested in farming or gardening would have a place. You know, kids could actually get credit for taking classes merging together science, technology, engineering, and math with this program. So it did get some funding from the state, and with other funds left over from other projects. This particular project was just below the line on the last bond issue in the Franklin Pierce School District, and now they have enough money to actually make it a reality. So it's going to be interesting to watch this project go forward. They're also in the process of trying to determine whether they will demolish the house that's there, or whether they'll fix it up for whatever purpose. I'm not sure yet, but it's certainly good activity. I'm going to encourage the school board to maybe name or dedicate one of the rooms in the facility. It's going to be a single story facility to in honor of Jim Akers, and the new manager when I talked with her about Jim Akers' acre, she didn't know anything about it.
Huh.
So I'm gonna have to re-educate them that one of the acres there, once they're finished, needs to be also dedicated to Jim Akers.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah. So I met the superintendent briefly last week when he strode. I was surprised. He and the principal strode into my classroom and surprise visit. And so the principal introduced me and told him what class I was teaching, and then I reintroduced myself as part of the Summit Waller Community Association, and he was obviously surprised, and but it was a pleasant surprise, and then he volunteered, Mr. Goodpaster, to come and speak with us at a future in-person meeting. So I will get back in touch and send the invite, and that was that. Short and sweet. So we should be expecting him.
October is an in-person meeting.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably should invite him soon. Otherwise we have to wait till January.
Yeah. What school were you at?
Christensen. Have you heard of Christensen?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've just been hired as their new PE teacher.
Well, congratulations.
Nice.
Thank you. It happened today.
I see.
That's fun.
Well, right across the street from the school is the brother of some of our really good friends. So we've been over that area many times.
Okay. I wasn't expecting this. I was pretty happy being a substitute teacher and having some, I like my time at home. I like my home. I like my own company. I like my kids' company when they're off of school. So it was a surprise, but I'm delighted. And I love kids, and I've been a teacher for years. I just haven't had a classroom, and now I get a chance to.
I will tell you that elementary school PE teachers or PE teachers at any level is a tough job to get into, because those PE teachers, that's a really nice job. After I retired and started subbing a few times, I subbed for an elementary school PE teacher, and I really enjoyed it. And of course, teaching at a junior high, the PE teacher the boys PE teacher at Ferrucci Junior High School, who helped start the school in 1982, 83, is still there. I mean, PE teachers hang around for a long time. It's a tough job to get into. You're very lucky.
I feel very lucky. So, okay, well, that concludes our meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn, or was there anything that anyone wanted to add before I ask for a motion to adjourn?
Oh, I just cannot help myself.
Okay.
Recall when we were doing the pipeline trail, the city of Tacoma wanted to run these lights all the way down Pipeline Road, and we talked to Pierce County. We said, okay, you can run the lights in the Tacoma area, but once they get to 72nd and Waller Road, they stop. And going into the real separator, we don't have any more lights. And the county says, okay. Well, I'm just saying the same thing would apply to 64th Street. Fix the road all the way from Portland Avenue all the way over to Pipeline Road. I'll cut the ribbon for groundbreaking. I mean, I support it. But once you start talking about putting a bridge in that area, taking out that fill, messing with the creek and the whole thing, sidewalks, that is it's not good. Thank you.
Okay, noted. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll
Really
make
quick. I got something
Okay.
to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Dan, I hear you. You're adverse to this, but that's not what I have to say. If you're at the fair, don't forget to vote for the Waller Road Grange Ag booth in Barn Day.
Yes!
We've already gotten
Yay!
People's Choice 2 days. 2 days we've got People's Choice.
Nice! Yay!
Let me say this.
That's awesome, Megan. That's awesome.
I have been
Yeah.
going to the Puyallup Grange booth at the fair since I was a little kid. Okay. And I always admired that. I like the Grange and support the Grange, but I think this is just one thing.
Dan, I hear you. You don't have to beat the dead horse.
Okay.
I
I
hear
make a
it.
motion to adjourn.
I hear it.
Thank you.
Okay, I heard. Do I have a second? Dan,
Yes.
motion to adjourn. Dan, I have Dawn second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Love you all. Peace.
Okay, and anyone who wants to stay in